Listen up. Come closer. Just come closer. I'm about to give you a secret that will keep you away from your dentist or any other oral hygiene video for a very, very long time. Yes. And I don't think the entire dentistry industry would like that. But this routine will give you early morning fresh breath. And by early morning, I mean early morning without brushing your teeth just yet. Fresh breath. Exactly. That is what this routine will give you. This is a simple 4-step oral hygiene routine that will foolproof your oral hygiene routine forever. The first three are common practice that you may be doing not quite right, while the fourth routine is the golden game changer that you need to stick around for from the start of this video to the ending of this video. So if you want to say goodbye to constant bad breath, yellow teeth, and an embarrassing smile, please keep on watching. Reality check. Now I understand that not all of us will have the time in the day to repeat this multiple oral hygiene routine steps every single day so that our friends don't desert us and our spouses don't divorce us. But if you can stick to at least 2 steps out of all these 4 steps daily, I promise you 90% of your oral hygiene issues will be solved. This is 2024, where people can literally cancel you because of how poorly you present yourself. Simply brushing your teeth daily will not give you the escape from that potential shame that you need. True story. So in order of the least important to the most important step in this routine, the first on the list is brushing. So let's talk about brushing. The effectiveness of your brushing relies on 3 things. The first is your brushing technique. Your toothbrush, your toothpaste. Your brushing technique, your toothbrush, and your toothpaste. So start by getting the right and the healthy tools for this step, and you have successfully solved 70% of your brushing problems. Okay, so it's quite simple. You don't want to get just any kind of toothbrush. You want to get the kind of toothbrush that fits your kind of teeth. Now, the toothbrush I'm currently using is a very simple, very common toothbrush in the market. And to be honest with you guys, before I got that toothbrush, the toothbrush I used to get were like the big ones, the fancy ones, the ones with the thicker bristles, a bit larger in size and fancy, and with a thick handle, all of those things showing that, oh yeah, it's high quality and all of that. I was using those brushes. I would always have bleeding gums. I was always getting bleeding gums each time I use those super thick toothbrushes. And aside that, I always felt like the brush was not really going in and out of my teeth. Like it wasn't really doing the cleaning the way I wanted. It wasn't really getting to like the side, the inside, and the different angles that I needed in brushing, right? So the brush wasn't really getting the job done. And it wasn't until I tried out this particular toothbrush that I realized that, getting the right size of toothbrush is actually very, very important when it comes to your oral hygiene. If not, you've not even started. You've not even started. Now, the right kind of toothbrush does not guarantee the perfect clean, but the right kind of toothbrush is the kind of toothbrush that is going to give you a decent amount of clean without causing your mouth any harm. And for me, it was this toothbrush. I'm sure some of you have probably seen this toothbrush in the market. This is the KS. To be honest, I do not know what KS stands for, but I just know that this toothbrush is the OG for me. Like I've been using this toothbrush for like I think almost like 5-6 years now, and just look at the bristle. Okay, so let me show you guys something. I have another toothbrush right here. Okay, so this brush, I'm currently using it for my hair. This is one of like the former brushes I used to use before. See the difference? There isn't much difference between the two of them, but you can, if you just take a look at their thickness. So this one is thicker than this one, and because of the way this one was designed, it was actually injuring my mouth each time I brushed with it. I didn't use this exact one, of course. Like I bought another one, a different color, but the same brand, the same design. So this one was injuring me, and it wasn't like getting to like the inner part of my teeth the way I wanted, simply because of this size difference. And I feel like a lot of people do not put that into consideration when they are buying their toothbrushes. That's one most important part of it. So I've come to realize that, especially if you're one of those people who doesn't have like very wide mouth, with long teeth, I don't really know how to describe it. Like if you're just one of those people, you need to opt for toothbrushes that are a bit smaller in width, not as thick or as wide as the green toothbrush that I just showed you. So when we talk about toothpaste, I feel like when it comes to toothpaste, there are lots of varieties out there, and I feel everyone is free to pick whatever variety they love the most. So for me, I've actually tried different toothpaste, and I decided to opt for this. This gives me the best clean. Like it gives me the best clean. And why is that? Now let me tell you guys, a lot of the common toothpaste that I've been using, and by common I mean like the common toothpaste that we all know, the Oral B's, the is it Close Up, the red one? Yeah, I've used I think Pepsodent. So I've used virtually all of those common toothpaste, right? And one thing, especially the Oral B, because I think that one is actually more common. Now, Oral B toothpaste, I notice it doesn't have any grip on the teeth. So when you take your toothbrush and you apply that in your brush and you're brushing your teeth, it's not really getting any top surface built up or gunk that is sitting on top of your teeth in the morning, after the bacteria in your mouth has done their duty, right? It's not really giving it a good clean. So I needed a toothpaste that kind of had like a good grip on the teeth, but also natural. And before I started using this, I was using this charcoal toothpaste. Now this charcoal toothpaste was quite okay. There was one that I was using, another charcoal toothpaste I was using before, this Colgate one. That one was a bit more abrasive, and it would stain like my wash hand basin and stuff like that. So I stopped using that. Although like it definitely brushed the stain in my teeth, but it was just too aggressive. But it had a very good grip on the teeth. This one, however, is also a black toothpaste, different formula of course. But this doesn't have as much grip as the first one that I got. So then I stopped using this because it became, the grip is just really low. Then I got this one, and this one is a natural toothpaste. This is also natural. The charcoal toothpaste is also natural toothpaste. So this is a natural toothpaste, and it gives the best grip on my teeth. So ever since then, I just decided to stick with this particular brand of toothpaste. So this is what I've been using. It has a very good grip on the teeth. I always feel like my teeth is, squeaky clean after brushing. So yeah, that's a plus. So in terms of frequency, to be honest, guys, I'm not going to lie, and I am not a dentist, right? So please do not take my word for it. This video that I'm giving you is what is actually working. I'm telling you, and it's just what is really working, honestly. And that is why I even thought about doing the video in the first place, right? Honestly, I don't think it matters how many times in the day that you brush. Like I said, I have observed if you're sticking to brushing alone, you'll be having bad breath. Whoever told you that just brushing, like just using a brush and a toothpaste, that's all the routine that you need to maintain a healthy oral hygiene, the person lied to you. And honestly, if you get one of your friends to inhale your mouth, it probably has a smell, maybe not as pronounced, because at least, unlike some persons, you still brush, right? But trust me, brushing is not enough. Brushing does not get the job done. It doesn't give the best clean. And another thing with brushing is that, we eat throughout the day. So like how many times in a day you want to brush? So I'm not going to come here and say brush at least twice a day. To be honest, I don't brush at least twice a day every single day. I do it sometimes, but I do not maintain it. That is the reality. And I have a feeling that it is exactly like that for most people. That is why I'm not going to come here to say, oh, brush 3 times a day, brush after every meal. I don't think it works, because I mean, I've had a period of my life that I tried that and it still doesn't give like the best clean. And who wants to be brushing every time? Like it, like when I don't know if I'm the only person, but it's just like even brushing twice a day, it feels like you're overdoing it. Talk more of now brushing 3 times a day. So honestly, but if twice a day works for you, great. If it doesn't, just hold on for number 4. Just hold on for the fourth step that I'm going to tell you guys in this video. Okay. Another thing that you definitely want to take note of when brushing is you want to try the circular motion. So I have observed that the circular motion, like when you go circular like this, it helps your bristle to get to like every corner and like even in between the teeth sometimes. So it helps you to get like in between some of those teeth. So when you're like going, round, and as you're going round, you want to angle your brush. So you don't want it to be like like a statue. No, you want to kind of angle your brush to be moving. So you want to give it like this up and down motion, up and down motion, up and down motion. And I noticed that this is the motion that helps to get most of the gunks out. This is something that I actually learned from a dentist. So it was a dentist that suggested this particular way of brushing, and ever since then I've been brushing this way and I've been seeing great results. But this method is also good for those of you that are very lazy in flossing. Those of you that do not like flossing, don't worry, I understand. I honestly understand, you guys. It's just not the reality for a lot of people. But if you're not going to be flossing every single day, you want to make sure you're brushing the right way. If you brush this way, you might have some good reason to actually skip flossing, which leads us to the second step for those of us that like to be a little extra in cleaning our teeth. So when you see people with clean teeth but like at the roots it's kind of yellow and all of that, that is as a result of not flossing. So that is something that flossing will take care of, and this is why flossing is very, very important. So for me, I have this pack. I think it's best to buy a pack. I don't know if they sell like single. I think it's best to buy a pack because, and the reason is because like you can always have some with you at home and some in your bag, especially if you're a 9 to 5er and you occasionally, have lunch like at work. So you need one to be with you in your bag. So yeah, let me just show you guys what it looks like. So there's this one. So it comes with this rope, which is obviously the main thing that you use in like scooping out some of the food substance that might have been trapped in between your teeth. Then it also has this toothpick that you can also use to go like in between your teeth and bring out some other like stubborn ones that have kind of, especially for like back of the teeth. This comes in handy with like the back of your teeth. So yeah, I keep a bunch of them in different like in some of my bags that I actually wear out. So yeah, if you're at the restaurant or something, you can always pop one out and use it. So another very important fact to put in mind when it comes to oral hygiene is that a lot of the time, oh, look at that beautiful bird. So a lot of the time, I don't know if that's still going on in 2024, but some persons actually believe that when a person's mouth is giving out an offensive odor, they always tend to think that, oh, the smell is coming from the teeth. So they tend to brush their teeth so aggressively. And that reminds me, that is a point I didn't mention, right? So the whole purpose of having a very good sticky toothpaste is you don't have to be aggressive in brushing your teeth. And when you're aggressive in brushing your teeth, you're washing away the enamel. It will become so sensitive that taking cold foods or like hot foods, like all extreme temperature food substance or drinks are going to affect your teeth because it is sensitive and the protective layer has already been broken down by the aggressive way you brush your teeth. So you want to be gentle with brushing your teeth. And the only way you can be gentle and still have an effective cleaning of your teeth is if you have a very good gripping toothpaste, and not very many toothpaste give that effect. So that is definitely the reason why I stick to Dabur Herbal. So Dabur Herbal toothpaste, right? Back to what I was saying about So people tend to think that the teeth is the main part where the odor is coming from, but it is the tongue. The tongue is the main part where the odor is coming from. You know, the nature or the texture of the tongue is kind of rough. For those of us that have foot mats, you know those foot mats that are kind of a bit furry, those furry ones. So think of it as the nature of your tongue. It's just similar to how the tongue is. So remember, a lot of us, especially those of us that still clean our houses, so people who still clean their houses, notice that if you are cleaning that rug with a broom, it doesn't get all the dirt out. Most of the dirt is still on the surface, it's still sitting on the mat. In fact, the best way to clean a foot mat is to just wash it. And even the washing is not going to give it like 100% of a clean. So that is just similar to the nature of your tongue. Now picture that, and picture someone who the only way they clean their tongue every day is by brushing, just by brushing. I'm telling you, brushing doesn't even take out up to 50% of the dirt on your tongue. And some persons, think that they are doing it even better when they brush the tongue even harder. But what you're just doing is you're just weakening your tongue, you're just wounding yourself. Like, you don't have to brush it that hard. It's still not going to do anything, because the tongue has a very rough surface. And those rough surface, they are like in betweens in there. When you go to sleep at night, when the bacteria is walking in your mouth, a lot of food gets stuck in there. And it is those food that are stuck in there, those bacteria that are still living on your tongue, that cause most of the mouth odor that comes out. And a lot of us are working with mouth odor. Oh my goodness, a lot of us, because a lot of us neglect this part. The tongue is actually the most important part to clean. Most important. And because it is sensitive, you can't be aggressive with cleaning it. And when it comes to cleaning the tongue, one tool that I have learned is very, very effective in cleaning the tongue is a tongue scraper. So I'm sure some of you might have heard of, this tool. It comes in different varieties. For me personally, this is my favorite variety. So this particular one that I ordered from Jumia, it comes with three. Let me bring them all out. So this is a 3-in-1 tongue scraper. So I think this is a type that is more popular. This particular one is more common. So I personally don't use this. This one looks like a spoon. I personally don't use this. This is my favorite one. And I would highly recommend this, especially for those of you guys that are like me, who doesn't like to spend like the whole day cleaning my mouth. So for those of us that don't like to spend the whole day, this is the best, because with this you can actually scrape the whole tongue all at once. But with these smaller ones, they can only cover a part at a time. So if you're someone, especially for my 9 to 5 followers, you guys don't have all the time in the morning to spend doing all this 4-step routine. So if you're going to even tongue scrape, which is a routine that you should definitely consider doing every single day is very important, to scrape your tongue. So if you're going to do it and you want to do it in a hurry, this is the best tool for that. This is the best tool that can give you that effect quicker than the smaller ones would. So that's it for tongue scraping. If you've watched the video up until this point, you're very, very wise. So the fourth step in the oral hygiene routine is oil pulling. Oil pulling. Before I get into that, right, first thing, just do me a favor, just ditch your mouthwash. Ditch your mouthwash, because it doesn't even come close to this method. This method is as old as time. This was the method that royal people, right? Royalty. This is the method that they used to use to clean their mouth, because it is natural and it is also the most effective means of truly cleaning the mouth. One thing I love about this step again is that it's actually independent. It can stand on its own. Yeah, like you can just do this one step and you're good to go. If you do it right, you're good to go. You don't need to brush, you don't need to floss, you don't need to tongue scrape. If you do it right, that is. So ditch your mouthwash, because it doesn't even come close to this. So let me tell you guys a story of how I came across this particular step. So before I came across this particular step, I've been seeing videos about it online. This was a few years back when I first of all like picked it up and like discovered it online. So I was seeing videos on it online, and I would then watch it. Then I'll be like, ah, this is another method that we are not like. It's not necessary. All this stressful method, like it's just going to add to the steps, and like who wants to do all 4-step routine every single day, right? So when I first saw that video, I didn't really take it seriously. But here's what happened. Now, there was a time that I had suya. So suya here in Nigeria is like is it roasted? It's like a roasted steak, roasted meat, right? Roasted beef. Sometimes it can be roasted chicken or grilled chicken. When it's prepared, when it's being packaged, right, it's usually packaged or served with, raw onions and cabbage and sometimes like carrots and all of that, but mostly raw onions, cabbage. So, anyone who is familiar with eating raw onions or you're familiar with eating garlic, you know how the smell of onions, although for onions it's not as strong as garlic, but you know how the smell of onion normally lingers long after you're done eating and even brushing, right? The smell still lingers in your breath for long. One Saturday evening, I was just tired. I couldn't cook and stuff like that. So I decided to go get suya. So I got myself some suya. It was late at night, of course, and a drink. So I went to my apartment to, settle down and eat it. So I ate it, and after eating it, eating all the raw onions and everything, and the cabbage and everything, I was too tired to brush my teeth. And the next morning, I was supposed to go to church, right? So the next morning was church day. It was a Sunday, and I'm a worker in my church. There is no way I can go to church without meeting and greeting people, hugging here and there, and definitely like if like people will be able to smell your breath, right? So I was really tired after having the suya. I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, like do I have time to brush my teeth? Like I don't have the energy to brush my teeth, and I'm just really, really tired and I just want to sleep. So I was just really tired and I went to bed to sleep just like that without brushing my teeth. So I woke up the next morning, and guys, that was the first time I ever tried something like that. Like usually on the nights that I wouldn't even bother to brush my teeth, those are nights that I had maybe like a light liquid food, right? Nothing too, not one of those stubborn food with strong scents that lingers overnight. But unfortunately, I had onions, so with cabbage and all of that. And by the time I woke up in the morning, when I woke up in the morning, Lord, the breath, okay, it took my own breath away. It took my own breath away. So I tried brushing. When I brushed in the morning, brush my tongue, the normal brushing routine, it did not get the smell away. The smell was still lingering. And I was like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. If this was a weekend, I wouldn't be as bothered. But this is not weekend. Like it's church day and I have to go to church. And I can't have my breath thinking like this, especially when you're still, single. So I was confused. So I was like, oh, should I brush again? But lucky for me, I had a jar of coconut oil in my fridge. So I decided to try out that oil pulling stuff. So what I did, right, was that I went and I took like a tablespoon full of oil. I put it into my mouth and I swished and I swished and I swished. And I swished for like 10 minutes. Yeah, for about 10 minutes. And I spat it out. And after that, there was no smell of onion in my breath again. There was no smell of onion in my breath. And that was how I realized, because before that happened, that wasn't actually the first time that I had experienced that kind of thing. So the first time it happened, the first time I would have suya. So what I normally do, especially when I have it during the daytime and I'm still going to go out in the evening and I just don't want to brush my teeth, I would just use my mouthwash. So I would use my mouthwash then. So after using my mouthwash, one thing I noticed with the mouthwash is that when I use it, like for the first few seconds after using it, because the mouthwash comes with its own overwhelming fragrance, right? So it gives you the illusion that, okay, like the mouth is clean, like it's fresh now, the breath is fresh and polished and all of that. But like few minutes later, after the mouthwash fragrance has cleared off your mouth, you will start perceiving that pungent onion or garlic smell. So now fast forward to this particular morning, this Sunday morning. After I tried the oil pulling, it was the first time I tried oil pulling like that. So after I tried it, the smell was gone. And the coconut oil does not have an overwhelming fragrance like a mouthwash. But what is very grippy on your teeth. So as you swish and swish and swish, as long as you do it right, for like 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes, your mouth is clean. It is clean, your breath is fresh again. And that was how I got rid of it. That was how I restored my breath back. And that was how I realized, guys, that coconut oil is a better mouthwash than mouthwash itself. Because a lot of the mouthwash that I've been buying, they they sometimes actually irritate my tongue again because of the brushing, right? The aggressive brushing of the tongue. So it sometimes irritates my tongue, but coconut oil does not irritate. It's very sleek, it's very smooth. It's just the best, right? So it just gives you that great clean without stripping the enamel of your teeth, without weakening it. And it also kind of washes the stain off your teeth. Because ever since that day, I've been using coconut oil. I've, I've switched out my mouthwash for coconut oil, and I use coconut oil not every day, but I use it very regularly, like every 2 days. Like once in every 2 days, I use coconut oil. Sometimes twice a day, like in the morning and in the evening. I prefer using coconut oil in the evening. Now, this is where the beautiful hack is. For those of you who are married, who spend the night with your partner and stuff like that, some of you that would want to wake up in the middle of the night to do something, I don't know what you guys will be doing, and you feel a resistance because of, like, oh, okay, bad breath and all of that. You don't have to worry. If you do the coconut oil pulling in the night as your night routine, you can brush if you still want to brush, but if you use the coconut oil as your night routine, right? That is after you've taken every meal of the day, you use the coconut oil pulling. You do the coconut oil pulling at night. When you go to sleep and you wake up the next morning, your breath will not stink as bad as it would stink if you didn't use coconut oil. And I was always wondering, like in fact, sometimes like I've done this many times, and my breath will still smell very fresh in the morning before I've even brushed my teeth. It will still smell very fresh. And that is because coconut oil, like when you do your oil pulling, you're not supposed to rinse it out with water. So I think the oil remaining in the mouth, it prevents the mouth from drying out completely. So throughout the length of your sleep, your mouth is not dry. So the bacteria that comes in to do their work, they're not able to produce a strong enough odor. So the coconut oil remaining in your mouth, like the piece or the part that remains in your mouth, it kind of moisturizes your mouth. So because it's that dryness that brings about the bacterial action, and that leaves behind the odor that we perceive in the morning. But coconut oil prevents your mouth from being super dry, so which also prevents the mouth from not smelling as terribly as it would without coconut oil. So if that makes any sense. So yeah, and too much ranting. Let me just get into it. So I'm currently using this. So if you're using coconut oil, you want to make sure that you're using a virgin coconut oil. right? So a virgin cold pressed coconut oil, to be specific, because that gives you the best, because that is the most, like, the healthiest form of coconut oil. Yeah, the healthiest method of extracting coconut oil, and it's also the most powerful. So this is the one that I use. I use this one by Tropical Sun virgin coconut oil. It's 100% cold press. So as you can see, it's kind of in its creamy state right now, because this actually stays in my fridge. And I have a small like a small I normally turn it into this container. This is almost this is kind of finished at the moment. So I normally like melt it and put some into this container. I have another container in my bathroom that I normally put it into. So I pour the coconut oil into that container and I use it as my mouthwash. So you want to get something like this. This would work quite fine, right? You can still try the hot pressed coconut oil, but the cold pressed coconut oil, it gives the best. So cleaning of your teeth whitening, when you do it frequently, you begin to notice like a visible clean teeth. And yeah, so for me, that was one of the things that I noticed using doing the oil pulling method, right? I began to have, like, like cleaner teeth, because it begins to clean away the stains on my teeth. So yeah, coconut oil is just excellent. Excellent. So yeah, that's the 4 step oral hygiene routine, the golden routine that will keep you away from your dentist for months and months to come. If you have any questions about this video, or like what was discussed in this video, feel free to ask those questions in the comment section down below. I'm always looking forward to your questions, and I'm always excited to address them, to answer them. And also, if you want to get to know more about what I do and all of that, be sure to follow me in my socials right here. Of course, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a share. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. So if you find value in this video, consider sharing it with your audience as well. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.